So today we're talking with industry veteran Frank Aguilar, who has spent more than a half century in the metal finishing industry. Frank was owner of Industrial Plating and 5 times served as president of the Metal Finishing Association of Northern California. He sat on the MFANC board for over 20 years and was actually named a lifetime member of that board. So, Frank, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, great.
I appreciate it.
Well, I got you off the golf course and got you 5 minutes to spend some time here with us, so that was good. But I wanted to ask you, I know, tell us about, it's kind of a family tradition, but how you got really started in the finishing industry.
My dad started with Alan Baker, polishing bumpers, and was getting paid $90 a week, and had 7 kids to feed, so he was working nights and days. And he worked for Industrial Plating, and Industrial Plating couldn't pay him. So eventually my dad owned like 25% of the company. And then he eventually owned 48%. James W. Porter, which was a colonel from the Air Force, partner also, was my dad's partner. He owned 48%. And we kept a lawyer with 2%, and just kept him on, as part of the company. And eventually, like 1990, I think it was 91, my dad bought out Mr. Porter, who had already turned 100. He was 99, and he passed away when he was 100. But just before that, my dad bought him out. And that's when my brothers and I became partners. But we had been working there since 1967. And in 67, I worked for a year, and then I went into the service. And then after the service, I came back, and they had to hire me because it was a union shop. So yeah, we were one of the very few union shops around. The metal finishers union was very strong in the Bay Area. They had at one time 200 members. But when I forget the name of the company, moved to New Mexico, they did locks. Schlaglock moved to New Mexico, and they took all the polishers and all the platers there, and that made the union weak. So each company had to do their own contract through the union. And so I was on contract I was in the union for like 36 years before I became a member, before I became an owner. And when you became an owner, you could no longer be in the union. So my brothers and I became owners, 2 of my brothers and an uncle. So it was a family shop. We had a lot of uncles and a lot of cousins worked there. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of that. Yeah.
But they were all union. It was all union. So they got top wages.
Gotcha. All right. Wow. Yeah. One of the things I was asked is, when you got in the industry, like I said, I know your father is there and a lot of relatives and things, but, who were some of the mentors that you met inside your company and also outside of some of the associations and things like that, or other job shops that you knew of that were really helpful to you?
Mostly my uncles. Most of my uncles helped me quite a bit. They worked there. A couple of them quit, came back, but they helped a lot to teach me how to do things. So yeah, and after a while, it just became automatic. Everything, you learn.
Right. You became active in the trade association for many years. What were some of the reasons you decided to do that? Was there a lot of heavily regulatory issues back then too?
With the association?
Yeah.
In '96, Carl Mattman called up my dad and said, Carl Mattman was also a union shop. He was in San Francisco. He called up my dad and said, we need one of you guys to come to be a member of the association. And Carl was really into the association. So my dad said, hey, guess what? You're going to a meeting and you're on the board. And I go, what? So my first
Right.
meeting, I'm already on the board, and and I've been on the board
Right.
since. And that was
Right.
and I believe it was 96.
Wow. A long
So
time. Yeah. And you served as president, right? For 5 different times, were elected. And I guess you just kept showing up at meetings, or maybe you didn't show up at the meetings and you became president. I'm not sure how that goes.
my dad never wanted to be part of anything. He just wanted to stay away from everything else. He says, we don't need anybody. And
Right.
eventually you find out you do need people. And
Right.
the association helped us quite a bit when we were closing. You find out that there were people out there that would actually help you. So
Right.
it was good. It was beneficial that way.
Right.
And also all the all the lobbying and
Mm-hmm.
government. It helped
Right.
quite a bit to be a member of the association.
Right. I guess to get a better understanding.
My brothers never
Yeah.
saw it.
Right. Well, tell me about that. I mean, what perspectives did it give you? Because now you were, sort of meeting and talking with other shop owners a lot, right? And you were kind of, peer to peer. You were kind of talking to them. I guess that helped a lot, didn't it?
Yes, quite a bit.
Yeah.
We kept telling them that, eventually we're going to need everybody else to
Mm-hmm.
to help us. And when we did close, a lot of people helped us. A lot of people came to our, bought things where, lathes and cooks and everything we had extra. And
Right.
also with getting rid of the waste, Terry McGinnis, a friend of mine, he helped us quite a bit with,
Right.
he was with PSC at the time, or I believe he was with PSC at the time, or All Clean or something like that. But yeah, we had quite a bit of help.
Right.
So
And
it pays to be a part of the association.
right.
It really does.
Right. Just right. Just to kind of get out and I mean, it's funny. What advice would you give somebody starting in the finishing industry about getting involved in their association and become active?
What would I tell somebody about getting?
Yeah. What advice would you give them?
Don't.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. Unless you're going to do the chemical side, unless you're going to do the hazardous waste side, owning a shop it's not for the weak.
Right.
It takes a
Right.
it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of hours that you don't get paid for. A lot.
Mm-hmm. Right. What looking back, like I said, you half a century in the industry, and what are some of your, you've gone to a lot of, been involved in the associations and things like that. What are some of your fondest memories when you think back of all your involvement in your career in the industry?
A lot of it was with the lobbying. That really opened my eyes to all the stuff that was going on with the association, all the lobbying, and getting to see the different people that would listen to us, and actually sometimes really connected with people. In Sacramento, I met a guy that went to school with my brother, Fong, and he was assemblyman from San Jose, and he went to Sunnyvale High with my brother.
Wow.
And actually came and spoke at a couple of our meetings, because he told me that his wife had a small business. And I go, where? And he goes, in Sunnyvale. And it was like, I grew up in Sunnyvale. And he goes, you're a Jet. I go, Jets. And we both did it at the same time. And everybody looked at it and said, right. I go, yeah.
Right.
And we connected.
Didn't understand.
And it was really cool.
Right. Right.
And then later on.
So over the last couple of years, yeah.
He was in the same
Right.
year as my brother, Art.
Wow, that's a small world, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So right now, since you're not fully retired, like I said, we were talking earlier, you're doing some work. Tell us about some of the work that you're doing and the variety of work for who you're working for, things for.
I'm doing everything they tell me to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Yeah, because I've been
Right.
doing this
Kind of as a
long, it's just like,
consultant.
I'm doing silver right now. Doing a lot of silver.
Gotcha.
I got silver plate going right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Just different things. Just put my hand in there and they say, Frank, can you do this? And I go, yeah, I'll do that.
Keep busy.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep busy.
Right.
I found out that I really wasn't ready to retire. And,
Gotcha.
and 3 days a week is just about pretty good. Get here at 7 and leave at 2.
There you go.
Yeah. So
All right.
I go, wow. Because I got too much energy, Tim.
Right. You got to do something. Release it.
Like going crazy at home, doing trimming trees and trimming the bushes in the backyard.
There's only so much of that you can.
Yeah, you can trim them down so much, and there's nothing left.
Great.